everybody. So I'm at Craters of the Moon right now in Taupo, and this is a geothermal area, but it's a smaller site, so it's only $8 to get in, which is nice because a lot of the geothermal areas are quite pricey. I'm just here to take my mind off a couple things because it's been very stressful the last few days, and I've had a horrible experience at the Lodge Taupo. Just a kind of warning to other travelers to always do your research and look into a place, and if it seems too good to be true, it probably is, but without getting too much into it. I just want to take my mind off of everything. I think the worst of it is now over. I have a few days left because I've paid my rent up till Sunday, leaving Monday morning, so I'm going to still be at the lodge until then, but I'm going to make the most of my time left here in Taupo. A lot shorter than initially anticipated, but you know what, that's just part of the journey, and that's what happens sometimes. Things don't always go according to what you think the plan will be, and that's okay. It's all part of learning and growing and just your journey that you have here when you're doing things like I'm doing, just making plans a little bit last minute. Why not do something a little bit nice for the day? Head to this geothermal area all around me. It's very cool to see the smoking, you know, craters and geothermal activity. It's very unique for me to see that. Just needed a sip before I get started. Hi everyone, welcome to Taupo. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's been almost 2 weeks since I picked up my camera and vlogged, besides when I visited Craters of the Moon, which is a geothermal area. I think I just needed a break. I had been vlogging pretty regularly, you know, since the 3 months that I've been living here, so I just needed a little bit of a break, and honestly, there was a little bit of a situation that happened. Nothing too terrible, but definitely not a great memory of mine. I drove down to Taupo. The last time I think I was vlogging was when I was telling you that I was so excited that I was coming here and that there was a hostel that I was going to be working at, so I didn't have to pay rent, and I was in a very good mood about things, and things seemed to be working out lovely. Everything was falling into place, and I believe that's where I left off. But unfortunately, a lot has happened and a lot has changed. I just need another sip before I get into it. So when something seems too good to be true, maybe it's because it is. So honestly, the fact that he hired me so quickly on the phone should have been a little bit of a red flag. Maybe this wasn't the best situation. Maybe there was a reason why there was so many vacancies. Maybe it wasn't going to be the best experience. Yes to all of those. So essentially, the manager was really not nice. He basically told me, "You are now the night manager," and didn't give me an option. Apparently, the other staff were asked what they were interested in doing before actually starting work. So, you know, I made a commitment. I drove down here from Auckland. That's a long ways to drive. Obviously, I stopped in Waitomo and I had the brilliant time at the cave, so it wasn't a waste. I won't say that I wasted my time coming to Taupo because that's not true. Everything happens for a reason is what I believe, but what I am gonna say is that it was definitely not what I expected, and that unfortunately played a role into my experience and what I ended up doing, which was I actually quit. So I worked at Lodge for 4 shifts in a row, so that's about 20 hours of work, and I actually worked the very day that I arrived. After driving down and everything, I did do a shift because I thought, well, I'll help out, you know, they look like they need some help, and I guess the nice thing to do would be to work tonight so I can train and learn how to do this night manager shift, and then I will be okay to do it on my own. Well, yeah, that's the night where everything kind of came crashing down around me when I realized the amount of work that they were expecting me to do. Also, night manager, not something that I'm really interested in doing. That's the person that has to stay up and is on call all night at the hostel for any question, any kind of emergency. It's the night manager that has to deal with it. So yes, a guest locks themselves out of the room, you gotta go let them back in at 1 or 2 in the morning. Somebody calls the hostel at 3 in the morning wanting a room, you have to answer the phone and ask about what they want and see if there's a room that you can sell them. It really really isn't my ideal situation for what I wanted. I just didn't want to spend money on rent. I didn't necessarily want to make money. So this hostel, it was a 4-hour shift from 8 p.m. to midnight, and from midnight onwards to 7 a.m. you were then on call for the rest of that time. You really don't get paid to be on call, and honestly, for working at minimum wage job and trying to pay very expensive rent for a shared dormitory accommodation, it just didn't make sense to me. But my personality, I wanted to give it a shot. I gave it 4 shifts in a row, no breaks. On the 5th day when it was my day off, I realized that it just was not for me. So I think I'm gonna do a more in-depth video on working for a hostel and my opinions, my experiences. I'm only gonna delve into my experience a little bit. I won't get into the thick of everything because that would be a 20-minute video. But essentially, the work just wasn't for me. It wasn't worth my time. The amount of work I had to do, the amount of house cleaning because of the size of the hostel was so large. Also the on-call all night, so I was getting no sleep. All of that just wasn't worth it to me to be living there for a month, and I decided to quit. So after I quit, I looked around at other hostels in the area and also around Tongariro National Park because there's some lodges around there. I found a couple options, but ultimately I ended up at YHA, so Youth Hostel Association, and there is one in town. It's called Finley Jack's YHA. I have not started yet, so I've actually been a guest for the past 5 days now. I paid a weekly rate for my rent, so it was about $168 for almost a week. So yeah, the hostel didn't need help for the week that I was looking for work, so unfortunately I did just have to pay rent. I'm hanging around, meeting new people, enjoying relaxing in Taupo, and in a few days I'm starting my housekeeping work, and this schedule is a lot more suited to what I'm looking for, just something that is really low commitment and also not a lot of work that you need to be doing. I'm not making any money, but I'm also not spending money on rent. It's just a 3-hour shift from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. 4 days a week. You do house cleaning, you help make beds, do laundry, clean the bathrooms, clean the kitchen, stuff like that. Only 4 days a week, and then you get your rent free. But I don't have an opinion on it yet because I have not started. Other than that, I'm really not vlogging that much because my days here in Taupo are very slow. Sorry for the long-winded update, but yeah, a lot has happened, but also not really, so I don't know. I just thought I wanted to do an update and just speak to you guys and kind of get it off my chest because a lot of that drama with the other hostel was a little bit jarring to my vibe because I was just used to being so chill and happy and like easygoing, and then when I experienced the disrespectful manager and, you know, the work that was just not what I thought it was going to be was definitely a shock. But you know what, I'm fine. I've gotten over it, definitely, but I think it's important to share that. At one point I was actually going to just pull the plug on Taupo entirely and just go to Wellington early and stay in Wellington for 2 months, but I have decided to stick it out. I'm going to be in Taupo the entire month of March almost, and I'm going to enjoy my time. I'll vlog here and there, but let's enjoy Taupo together, and I will see you guys the next time I feel like vlogging. So here's the hole-in-one in Lake Taupo. We got 5 free balls, and if you hit the hole-in-one on the platform over there, you get $10,000. Or you just make a fool out of yourself in front of all these people watching you hit this ball. So we're gonna film for you one shot because I'm not about to embarrass myself. Practice swing. Hey guys, welcome to Whakapapa, or it's probably Whakapapa as you pronounce it in Māori. Today I drove up here from Taupo and it was a beautiful clear day. You can see a beautiful view from the top of the gondola. In the summertime you can just take the gondola up and see the beautiful views down from the volcanic mountain. In the wintertime this place is covered in snow and it's a huge popular ski field area. So it's kind of nice to see it in the summer right now, but it's also very weird to see all the volcanic rock. I'm just not used to seeing the like rugged looking black volcanic rock that makes this so unique to me because the mountains in Canada are just so different. But you can see the houses behind me, they're like built into this rock, and usually that would just be covered with snow in the winter. Gonna head up the gondola and see the view from the top. on the gondola. So we're doing a bit of a walk now. We have a return gondola trip ticket, so we're not going to walk down, but apparently you can just do the gondola one way and then hike down to the car park. But we paid the round trip gondola ticket, which was $49, and now we're just going to do a short bit of hiking. You can do quite a long amount of treks up here in the summer, but we're just going to do a little bit of walking on volcanic terrain. So let's go. There she is. I'm not a massive hiker, and she was gonna keep going up even further, but I think this is good. And the trail is quite rough, so this is good for me. I'm gonna stay here, I'll wait for her, but she's gonna go up. She's really fast as well, so our paces are really off. That's the thing about hiking, is you really should be hiking with people who go the same pace as you. Otherwise, one of you is feeling like you're really working hard to keep up, and the other one is like, I could be going a lot faster. So it's not fair for both people. So I've just sent her on her way, and I'm gonna sit here and watch the view, which is beautiful. And the fact that I'm on a volcanic mountain is incredible. So she's the little tiny dot somewhere in the distance over there, and I'm just gonna hang out here, which is honestly perfectly fine. I think seeing this type of volcanic landscape in the summer is really cool, because this would be completely covered in snow in the winter, and it's a ski resort in the winter time for people to snowboard, ski down this beautiful mountain. So in the summer, the volcanic rock is exposed and you get this rugged, beautiful landscape.